In the sky, gazing far into the night, I raise my hand to the fire, but it's no use, 'cause you can't stop it from shining through. It's true, baby, let the light shine through. If you believe it's true, baby, won't you let the light shine through for you. In the sky, gazing far into the night, I raise my hand to the fire, but it's no use, 'cause you can't stop it from shining through. It's true, baby, let the light shine through. If you believe it's true, baby, won't you let the light shine through for you.
Hello and welcome to the final round of the Race Spec F1 Esports PS4 2010 Classics car series here in Interlagos for the Brazilian Grand Prix. My name is Expert and I'll be your commentator for today's race. The Autodromic Jose Carlos Pache has a track length of 4.309 kilometers with a total of 15 corners with 10 to the left and 5 to the right. The championship the championship has been wrapped up as well by the Mclaren driver of Plebs at the US Grand Prix, but there is still a lot of spots up for grabs below him in the standings as well. As you can see on your screens now, the drivers' standings for the final round at the Brazilian Grand Prix, or heading into the final round, I should say. Plebs has obviously taken the title as he is 38 points ahead of Sideshow Prod at the moment in that Brawn car. He is sitting in P2. P3 is Useless is a Cat. That's still definitely tight between those two as well, between Useless is a Cat and Sideshow Prod, so any mistake from either of those drivers can cost them that podium spots in the drivers' standings. Alpoom in P4 at the moment for Brawn, leading the reserve driver of F1 Amazing in 5th. P6 will be the Red Bull of LAS Purple, then it will be John Polainen in the McLaren. CRZ Footy in P8, rounding out your top 9 will be Corte Cruz, and then it will be the McLaren driver of Scarstars in P10. LAS Chucky in 11th, then it will be Gasly, the 3 Ferrari drivers of Gasly 10, Alex 96, NZ and Dougie Falcons. Dr. Dre, one of our reserve drivers, sits in P15 at the moment, leading LAS F1 Loic, Piper Toasters, Tommy and P. Crichton, LAS F1 Skid, Sergeant Cardi, NBC Alcatraz in P22, P23 will be Aaron L3F4, P24 will be Banana Cake Pie and Ranier. The top 25 for the PS4 2010 Classic Car Series will be Floggle Woggles. And then now, as you can see, finally for our constructors standings, one last time, it will be McLaren leading the way at the moment, 253 points compared to Brawn's 322. It is 100% not over between those two when it comes to standings, so we'll have to see how that pans out at the end of the weekend. Red Bull currently sit on 215 at the moment, so they're a little bit behind at the moment between Brawn and McLaren, but they have been very strong in the last couple of races. I don't think they'll be able to catch up to them though, because there's too many Brawn drivers, I do believe. But Ferrari could definitely be one to overtake Red Bull as well. So the two battles in the constructor standings at the moment is between Brawn and McLaren, and then Red Bull and Ferrari, but it's definitely going to be one to watch between the McLaren and Brawn team. But anyway, now the drivers are heading out for their 18-minute qualifying session, as you can see on your screens now. Let me know in the live chat as well. Welcome everyone to the chat. We have 21 drivers here this afternoon as well, may I point out. Actually 20, sorry, I thought it said 21, but anyway. Welcome to the stream, everybody. Mika, Toddy, welcome to the stream, guys. It's definitely going to be one to stick around for. If you guys are new to the PS4 2010 Classic Series, the cars that are available to the drivers, or that are given to the drivers, are the 2009 Brawn GP car, the 2009 Brawn car, the 2010 Ferrari, the 2010 Red Bull, and I think that's it, to be honest. I'm trying to think now. It's just the Brawn, Red Bull, and Ferrari. Oh, and the McLaren, 2010 McLaren as well. Majority of the drivers are in the Brawn or McLaren. Sorry, I should say Red Bull and Brawn. But now the majority of drivers will be starting their first lap here of the circuit. Jos Carlos Pache. Blocky Rex now heads into turn 1. We're going to ride on board with him. He's got Zach Crichton right in front of him as well in that Ferrari car. Blocky gets a little bit of oversteer heading through the center curves. They head down into turn 4. They go now. A lot of traffic in front of these two drivers for their initial lap. You can see that skid getting out of the way of Zach Crichton and Blocky Rex. Blocky's unfortunately invalidated his lap already, as you can see on the right hand side of your screen on that mini map. His the lap has gone to red, so sorry, I do apologize. This is round 12. Round 12 at Brazil. Sorry, I do apologize for that. It says round 10 at Brazil on the stream, but it is round 12. I apologize for that. But now Blocky Rex has invalidated his lap, so we're going to find Zach Crane. Has he invalidated his lap? He is not, so we're going to ride on board with him as he was just in front of Blocky Rex. Very angry side pod, formerly known as Sideshow Prod, was just on pole position, but he was just taken. Well, that was just taken away from him by Dr. Dre. Now Zach Crane crosses the line. He goes only the P4 so far on a 1 minute 11.136. You can normally do around 1 or 2 laps on these tyres as well, as they don't really wear out too much, but you also don't have ERS to manage in these 2010 era of cars. Banana K Pie also slots into P3 for Ferrari. I do believe he is in. He is. Very angry side pod in the Brawn car. Dr. Dre in the Brawn as well. So it's currently a Brawn 1-2 at this stage. Banana K Pie in third, leading LAS Purple for Red Bull in fourth. Then it'll be Gassy 10 for Ferrari. Big Donkey gets out of the way, as you can see on the right hand side of your screen. Zach Crane still sitting in P6. He's out on his second lap at this stage. Flogger Woggles in P7. P8 will be Cracker Jack. Rounding out your top 9 will be Catboy Kai, and the last of the drivers to have set a lap so far. I don't think that was a very true telling lap from Catboy Kai, because he has set a time 10 seconds slower than Cracker Jack. Still waiting on Blocky Rex, Chucky, Donga, John Paline and Plebs, Alpoom, Lloyd, Kurte Kuz, Dougie Falcon, Jesus as a Cat, and LASF1 Skid to set a lap as it stands. Banana K Pie actually now goes to pole position, but now it's quickly taken away by Alpoom in the Brawn car. So Ferrari were briefly on pole there with Banana K Pie. He set a 1 minute 10.471, 1/10 of a second faster. Well, just over 1/10 of a second faster than a Dr. Dre 3000's time. But then Alpoom quickly took that away with him, setting a time 3/10 of a second quicker than Banana Cake Pie in that Brawn car. He goes to pole position now with a 1 minute 10.183. A lot of the drivers will be finishing their second-ish lap now, and they'll be coming into the pit lane to put on a new set of dry tyres. There's only 2 compounds available to the drivers, that being the dry tyre and the wet tyre. Let me know in your live chat as well, in the stream live chat, your top 3 predictions for the qualifying session. You can see Banana Cake Pie hasn't validated his lap. He will be coming into the pits this lap most likely. He has run out of fuel, as you can see. Has the Ferrari driver. He was filled up for around 3-ish laps, but Alpoom now is going to be finishing another lap by the looks of it. No, he's coming into the pit lane. He's right behind the driver that's sitting in P2. He's trying to do a Vettel at the moment. He just passed Banana Cake Pie, so didn't make any contact, so it's all good. Dr. Dre now heading out for his second run as well, so the majority of the drivers, Gassy 10, has invalidated his lap, so he'll have most likely be coming into the pits this lap. So is Cracker Jack. Flogger Woggles is on a lap at the moment. He's heading up to the start-finish line now. He's currently sitting in P10, but unfortunately he's run out of fuel at the very end of his lap there. He did move up spots, so he got himself into P6, but that's definitely cost him a lot of time. He was looking at around, I reckon, P3, P2-ish even potentially, was Flogger Woggles, but unfortunately cost him a lot of time at the end there. He's going to have to go very slow for his in-lap here because he's got no fuel left in the car. He's running in fuel-saving mode at this stage. Try and find some more drivers that are on a lap. LAS Chucky at the moment, he's heading through the final sector now. Well, he's about to head into the final sector, I should say. The final sector pretty much consists of this corner and the rest of it's flat out, so he's going to come up to the line now as LAS Chucky runs a little bit wide to that final corner, but we'll see what time the Red Bull driver can do. Where does he move himself up into P9 for the Red Bull driver? 1 minute 11.015. 9/10 of a second down at the moment on Alpoom's time, so he's going to have a little bit of work to do if he wants to get up a few more positions. You see, that's Dr. Dre now, who is on a lap. We're going to ride on board with him as he heads into the second sector. Heading into this right-hander. Unfortunately, he has invalidated his lap here for the his second run. He will be starting his another lap now because the majority of drivers will be filled up for around 2, potentially 3 laps of quick time, so we'll have to see what happens there. As you can see, Floggerbox is now just getting to the pit lane, so that's going to be costing him a little bit of time. He may not get his third run in, but now Dr. Dre, he heads into turn 1 now. Through the S-curves, he goes, locks the inside front. That costs him a little bit on initial turning because he gets run wide. Now through this long left hand, you're going to keep it as tight as possible to minimize the track distance. No DRS available to the drivers because there was no such thing in the 2010 era. He heads into this corner now, normally braking between the 100 and the 50 meter board in a modern day F1 car, but now braking just after the 50 meter board. That's the difference that the cars now have. Did this right-hander now, not even much of a brake there from Dr. Dre, just the lift off, ran a little bit wide on initial turn and locked the rear brakes there. So that forced that stepped the rear tyres out a little bit there. That cost him. Now Plevs in McLaren also just got himself into P4 for McLaren with a 1 minute 10.590, 4 tenths of a second off Alpum's time. But Dr. Dre, we're going to go back to now as he heads through, or is about to start his final sector into this tricky left-hander. Very easy to be, will over drive that corner. He did actually have a purple second sector there, did Dr. Dre. So we'll have to see where this driver, where the Braun driver can get himself up to. There's a yellow flag in sector 2, but that shouldn't affect him. He actually came into the pits that lap. So Dr. Dre, I'm not too sure what was happening there. He did have a purple second sector, so he looked like he would have been going a little bit quicker. But now Dalpin goes up to the line. Does he go fast? He does. He sets a 1 minute 10.001. It's pretty much a 1 minute 10 dead. So he's actually 0.47 tenths. Sorry, yeah. 4 tenths of a second faster at the moment than Banana Cake, but now Gasly got himself into P2 now for Ferrari. He's been very strong this season, has Gasly, so especially considering the car that he's in. He sets a 1 minute 10.277. 2 tenths of a second off Alpum's time at the moment. Alpum has been pretty much the qualifying perfectionist this season as well, so he has been able to convert that into wins majority of the time, but unfortunately, as you can see, he's now just stuffed that lap up. Got on the gas a little bit too quickly and overcorrected the car, and that spun him around. Now he's going to get out of the way of the 2 Red Bull drivers of LAS F1, Corte and Corte Cruz. I think that was Loic that was on a lap there, but our pole position man just made a little error there. Not too much of an issue, didn't put it in the wall. Blocky Rex now. For Braun, just got himself into P3 with a 1 minute 10.335. Seeing a lot of drivers that I wouldn't say normally aren't in the top 5 are up there today. See Dr. Dre now doing a very solid job as well. He's in the top 5 pretty comfortably at the moment. So is Blocky Rex and Banana Cake Pie. Plevs now into the pit lane in that McLaren car. Zach Krine crosses the line into P5. He goes with the 1 minute 10.346. Look how close the top 5 are all at the moment. 3 tenths of a second separate them at this stage. He was 1/100th of a second at the moment between Zach Krine and Blocky Rex there. But Zach will be going again by the looks of it. This is only his first lap on these tyres. Normally you do 1 or 2 laps on these dry compounder tyres. I'm not too sure what the go is with fuel though, because you can see at the bottom right hand side of your screen that fuel gauge is flashing. So I have to see what happens with him when it comes to fuel, but we're going to go through your order with 6 minutes and 40 seconds remaining in this session. Alpum still leads away at the moment for Braun. He's currently set a 1 minute 10.001, currently still in the pit lane. Gasly 10 in P2 at the moment. He's 2 tenths of a second behind the Braun driver. Ferrari doing a pretty solid job at the moment in P2 and 3. Banana Cake Pie at the moment is coming up to the line. No, he's actually coming into the pits for his a new set of tyres. He got himself into P3 with a 1 minute 10.321. Blocky Rex in P4 as well for Ferrari. So Ferrari doing a 2-3-4 at the moment. Solid job from them. Zach Krine as well for Ferrari. He's sitting in P5 at the moment. So really solid job at the moment from Ferrari. They're going to be happy with that. They'll be gaining a lot of constructors points if they can continue this, but Zach just got blocked there by the looks of it by that Red Bull driver. Dr. Dre in P6 at the moment, leading Plebs in P7, Corte Cruz 8, and then the Red Bull driver of LAS Purple, who is on his out lap and looks like he'll be starting his another lap here. He is sitting in P9 and running a top 10 will be useless is a cat. P11 is very angry side pod. He's not doing too well at the moment. He won't be happy with where he is at the moment. He's set a yellow-purple sector too, so we'll have to see where the Braun driver ends up going. He doesn't look like he has any issue with fuel at the moment, so he's going to come down the main straight now, flat out for the remainder of the lap. Only one braking spot you have to use. Well, only one braking spot for the final sector, but now he comes up to the line, goes very angry side pod. He goes into P2 now. Does the Braun driver, solid job from him. It makes it a Braun 1-2 at the moment. He spun around through the first part of the S-curves. center curves. That's Dr. Dre now. His teammate just got out of the way of, mind you as well, a very angry side pod. I'm just going to try and call him side pod. He was formerly known as Sideshow Prod. But anyway, Flogger Woggles now got himself into P2 as well. So now making it a brawn 1, 2, 3 at the moment. Then it will be Ferrari of Gasly, Banana Cake, Blocky Rex, Zach Crichton in P7, Dr. Dre in that brawn as well. So very tight at the moment between the brawn and the McLaren, so not McLaren, the Ferrari teams. Still haven't seen a very good showing from Red Bull as of yet. We'll have to see how they go. But as you can see, Alpine still going fastest in that first sector. He's purple sector 1 at this stage is the the brawn driver. Haven't seen any predictions in the chat yet, guys. Give me your top 3 predictions in the live chat. We'll see if anyone's correct, as there's now 4 minutes and 20 seconds remaining in the session. But Alpine now will be coming up to the second sector split in a second. He's actually he's stuffed that corner massively there, but we'll have to see if he's still up on his time. He's going to cross it right about now, and he's just down on his time, unfortunately. So I think he'll be trying to start another lap now, because he did stuff up that corner. He had a purple sector 1. We'll have to see what he does here. As you can see, that's Catboy Kai pulling into the pit lane. There's 3 minutes and 52 seconds remaining in the session. He was 1/10 of a second down there on his time. He runs a little bit wide through the first part of the S-curves. He heads into the second part. Gets it turned nicely, though, for the second corner. Through turn 3, kept it a little bit too narrow. I think that's definitely going to cost him with a little bit of speed down the straight, but braking just after the 50-meter board. Very nicely done through that corner. But now Albin's actually invalidated his lap here. So this could potentially cost him here if some drivers do go a little bit faster. He's got to try and get around into the pits and put on another fresh set of tires, or even just try and fill up again. A lot of drivers are on their laps now. Gasly 10's coming across the line to start his lap now. Crackerjack getting out of the way on the left-hand side of the track. I think he is out of fuel. Banana Cake Pie also on a lap. He's unfortunately invalidated this lap time round, but Zach Crichton is on a lap by the looks of it. He's 8/1000th of a second down on his time at the moment, so he's going to have to find that little bit of time if he wants to move up at the moment. That 8/1000th of a second, believe it or not, will move him up a spot into P6. So that's how tight it is between our top 7 at the moment. 0.346 of a second at the moment between our top 7 at this stage. And there's a second between our top 15, but as you can see, Zach's now coming into the pit lane. It's going to be actually very tight here if he's going to get out for another lap. He's got to just refuel that car and just get straight back out on track if he wants to get another lap in. Banana Cake Pie is now starting his lap. He was 1/10 of a second actually up on his time, but unfortunately he's invalidated his lap again. He has the Ferrari driver, so he's going to have to slow down here, try and save a little bit of fuel, because he will be fuel for 2 laps most likely. Gasly 10 also has invalidated his lap, so very easy to corner cut the corners around the circuit, well, the Interlagos circuit. Very angry side pod is on a lap, or on his out lap as well. So is Flogger Woggles. He's just come out of the pit lane. Blocky Rex MP 6 at the moment. 1/100th of a second at this stage up on his time, so we'll have to see if he can improve that down this straight. It's going to be very tight. This may move him up a spot ahead of Banana Cake, but we'll see. He's going to cross the line now. Goes Blocky Rex. Does he go up? He actually goes up 2 spots here. He was 8/100th of a second, and that moved him up 2 spots. That's how tight everything is. That's just a plain example of how tight the qualifying session is and how tight everyone is within times. He was 8/100th of a second up on his time, and he moved up 2 spots. So he got ahead of Gasly 10 and Banana Cake Pie in P5 and 6. Yellow flag in Sector 2. That's just drivers probably getting out of the way. Gasly 10, that by the looks of it, that is. Did Zach Crichton end up getting out though? He is now coming out of the pits, but I don't think he's going to get back around because he's got a minute. So it's going to be very tight. He's got to really push this out lap here. It's going to be very tight. I actually want to see what happens with Zach. He's got Banana Cake Pie in front of him as well, who looks like he's on a lap at this stage. Didn't look like he set a purple sector. He didn't get that corner very good there. He slowed the car down a little bit too much there by the looks of it, did Banana Cake Pie, but he heads into this right-hander now. Very easy to lock the inside front tyre if you do not have ABS on, as you are braking and turning. Loses the rear end ever so slightly, loses traction on those dry compounded tyres, but he's going to cross the sector split now, but he's actually got out of the way of Zach Crichton, as you can see. Very angry side pod now. Goes to pole position with a 1 minute 1 minute 9.890, 2/10 of a second quicker than Alpine. Very nice lap there from Sidepod. Alpine now, will he be able to respond to that? He's got to find 2/10 of a second. Actually, it's 0.110 he's got to try and find if he wants to get to pole position. Well, a little bit more than that if he wants to go to pole. Dougie Falcons has now got himself into P3 for McLaren. Everything's sparking up now. Dougie Falcons for McLaren's got himself up onto that second row. LAS purple now for Red Bull. Also, he's got himself onto the second row. Did Zach Crun end up getting around for another lap? It looks like he did. He must have just got it in. He's 7/100th of a second down on his time at the moment. He's heading through the middle sector now. Is the Ferrari driver. Will he be able to improve? Banana Cake Pie has come into the pit, so he's not going to be able to go any quicker. But we're definitely going to have to watch Alpine because he's heading through the final corners now. He does have a purple second sector. So will Alpine be able to take that pole position off Sidepod? So it will be by the looks of it, a Braun 1-2 at this stage. But now he's going to come up to the line. Is Alpine. Will he be able to take pole position off Sidepod? He comes across the line. And he does. He goes 1-1. So he goes 7/100th of a second faster than Sidepod. I think that's right. Yes, he does. 7/100th of a second faster than Very Angry Sidepod. So Braun came home a 1-2 finish for the Brazilian Grand Prix qualifying session. Dougie Falcons came home P3 for McLaren, leading Zach Ryan in the end. Got himself into P4 for Ferrari. Nice lap there from him. He must have gained a few positions. Well, must have found a little bit of time through that final sector because he was down ever so slightly through the middle sector. LAS Purple in P5 as well for Red Bull. Solid job from him. So that was your top 5 for the Race Spec F1 Esports PS4 2010 Classic Car Series. 7/100th of a second between Sidepod and Alpine in the end. 5/10 of a second between our top 10s. This is going to be a very tight race between all the drivers. As we said, Dougie Falcons came home P3, P4 Zach Ryan, and then LAS Purple. The first of the Red Bull drivers came home P5, P6 will be Flogger Woggles, P7 Blocky Rex for Braun. Then it will be Gasly 10 in P8, and then in P9 will be Plebs for McLaren and Renier. Top 10 will be the Ferrari driver of Banana Cake Pie. Useless as the Cat, his teammate in P11. Then it will be Dr. Dre in P12. 13th, the John Polina. 14th, Corte Coos. Then it will be Chucky, Big Donga, LASF1 Loic, Cracker Jack, Catboy Kai, and LASF1 Skid. We'll round out your grid for the Race Spec F1 Esports PS4 2010 Classic Car Series. We're going to let the drivers now head over to the grid. Stay tuned. We'll be back with you shortly. But let me know in the chat as well your top 3 predictions for the Brazilian Grand Prix. I'll try and read them out on stream. But we'll be back with you in a moment. As you can see now, the drivers are heading out for their formation lap. 20 drivers will be battling it out for 36 laps around the Brazilian Grand Prix. I have a good feeling about this race, I'm not going to lie. This is the final race as well. It is round 12. I do need to fix that. I do apologise. It does say round 10 on the stream, but it is round 12. I apologise for that. You see the amount of classic cars there just on the track there. See Alpine now. We're going to go through your order for the 2010 Classic Series. I'm just going to quickly mute some people. I do apologise for that. Whoops, wrong button. Just so we don't hear them while we're driving. But anyway, Alpine took our pole position. He's not in the lead at the moment for the formation lap. But anyway, Alpum took out pole position, several hundredths of a second between himself and side pod in P2. P3 will be Dougie Falcons for McLaren, leading McLaren driver at this stage, and it'll be the leading Ferrari driver of Zach Crine in P4. P5 will be LAS Purple for Red Bull. P6 will be Flogger Woggles. Rounding out your top 7 will be Blocky Rex. Then in P8 will be Gassy 10. P9 will be Plebs in the McLaren. Then rounding out your top 10 will be Banana Cake Pie for Ferrari. P11 will be Useless is a Cat. P12. So P11 will be Useless as a Cat. B12 will be Dr. Dre 3000. John Polina will take home that 13th spot. Alongside him will be Cortecus in Red Bull. P15 will be LAS Chucky, who's had to sit on the grid for that formation. My Big Donga will come home P16. Will qualify P16, I should say. P17 will be LAS F1 Loic. So I think the two LAS drivers may have made a little bit of contact off the line. But then it'll be Cracker Jack, Catboy Kai, and LAS F1 Skid. We'll round out your top 20 here for the Brazilian Grand Prix. The light sequence is beginning now for the drivers. 5 red lights. And they're underway. Very quick start there. And both the Braun drivers get a very nice start there. Off the line, it looks like Alpum's got a better start. But now that's a McLaren trying to start down the inside of Dougie Falcons. He's down the inside of side pod into turn 1. And side pod actually leads away. I should say that was Dougie. So Alpum got a very bad start off the line. Flogger walks into P4 as well. Down the radar poster they go. Gets a very nice start there. Does very angry side pod. He's got a pretty comfortable lead heading into turn 4 rather. Now Alpum has gone back down to P3 and Dougie Falcons into P2 for Braun. They're going to go side by side down the straight they go. Who's going to go around the outside? He's trying to hang it there. Is Alpum. Does he get the move done? No, because Dougie has the inside line. He's able to hold on to that. Safety car already. So now there's a massive crash by the looks of it down the back. I do believe there's drivers everywhere off the track. I'm not too sure what's happened. That's Cracker Jack spun around at the exit of turn 5. LAS Chucky and Loic, all the LAS drivers are pretty much down there at the moment, so they may have all made contact. Not too sure what's happened with them, but there's a safety car on the midway through lap 1. Very angry side pod leads the way at this stage. Dougie Falcons is going to be in P2 at the moment, leading Flogger Woggles in P3, Alpine P4. P5 will be LAS Purple, leading Blocky Rex, Banana Cake Pie, Zach Crime, Plebs, and Gussie 10. No one's really moved up much positions at the moment. Catboy Kai is actually the driver that's moved up the most at this stage. He's up 5 spots for that Ferrari team. He's sitting in P14 at this stage from P19. Not P19. Yes, it was P19. See the safety car waiting down the end of the straight for very angry side pod. He's actually been let through here, his side pod. I don't think he expected the safety car was pulled off to the side there, but he didn't go. So anyway, we have a safety car here on lap 1 of the Grand Prix. Dr. Dre now. He's actually swapping positions with Useless as a Cat here, so I'm not too sure what's happening. Loic and Skid are swapping positions as well. See this will give a couple of drivers a good opportunity to change their front wing and put on a fresh set of tyres to go a little longer into this race. Pretty poor start there from pole position man of Alpum. He was in P3 by the end of the S-curves and down the rate of poster. Fortunately, he dropped the spot to Flogger Woggles as well. But this just gives the drivers a little bit of time to settle after that race start, but the safety car will most likely be out for a couple of laps here to clean up the debris on track. As you can see, side pod trying to get the safety car to go a little bit quicker here because it is going pretty slow by the looks of it. Can't keep much temperature in the tyres if you're going too slow, but now Skid has just got himself a 5-second time penalty down to P18, and he's actually retired from the session for making contact with his teammate. I do believe that was Loic. So I'm not too sure what's happened there, but now as you can see, Chucky and Cracker Jack are trying to catch up to the rear of the safety car train. So I'll put this to stop so we can see who has made a pit stop in this Grand Prix. John Polina has made a stop as well in P16 at this stage. LAS F1 Loic has also just come into the pit lane. So Chucky, Cracker Jack, Loic and John Polina have all made a pit stop so far in this Grand Prix. We have some Catboy supporters in the live chat. He's sitting in P14 at the moment for Ferrari. It's none of the drivers really. Yeah, I think the safety car is definitely going a little bit too slow at the moment, I'll be honest. But will we see the safety car in this lap? Safety car doesn't look like it will be in this lap. He's staying out for another lap. Still, the marshals have not cleared all the debris on track. Sidepod trying to keep as much tyre temperatures in those dry tyres as he can. The drivers, I think the drivers really want to get racing now, to be honest. They're all really bunching up and they're trying to get in each other's heads, as you see before. That was Dougie and Floggle. Woggle's just trying to, well, Floggle's just passing Dougie on the safety car there, but letting him back, just trying to get in his head a little bit here, as you can see Alpine doing the same thing. Just trying to get in each other's heads, just trying to annoy them and try and put them off. So they're not focusing on what they're supposed to be doing. I will be trying to interview people as well at the end of the race, so hopefully the top 3, if they can all join, I'll try and invite them all to a party so we can get some post-race interviews from the drivers. Most likely we'll see the safety car in this lap. It's been driving around pretty slowly and there's not much debris left on track. Sidepod trying to get as much heat into those tyres as possible. Will we see a potential little thing here from Sidepod, just backing the pack up? See, this is what the smartest thing to do for a Sidepod is, as you can see, safety car is now in this lap from the race control at the bottom of your screen. You can do a Max Verstappen, he just pulls it, just goes as slow all the way up to the line as he possibly wants to. So you are allowed to overlap, I do believe, but you cannot overtake. So as you can see, Dougie Falcons and Flogger are already playing that game. Sidepod can go as slow as he wants all the way up to the line, because you're not allowed to overtake until you get to the line. But now Catboy Kai down in P14 has already got himself a time penalty, but Sidepod's gone now. He's got a very nice launch off the line, but I think he should have left it a little bit later, to be honest, because Dougie is going to have a nice slipstream on him here, but now he's also trying to defend from Vlogger Woggles. He's going to go down the inside here. It's Vlogger Woggles. He's deep on the brakes. It's the Braun drivers down the inside on the McLaren. Looks like Dougie's going to hold on to the position though, so Vlogger Woggles settles back into P3. Alpha now. He's got Blocky Rex right behind him as well. Zach Hines dropped a few spots off the start as well. Banana K Pie, Purple and Blocky Rex all got ahead of him. But now Banana K Pie's trying to make a move on Purple and he gets down the inside there. Does Purple, he's made contact there with the Red Bull driver. He didn't seem to get much room there. Did LAS Purple? There's a massive crash in front. I think that's Dougie and Flogger Woggles have made contact on the exit of turn 6 there. But now the two Brawns are going to go side by side heading into this right hand, and they do make contact there. Flogger Woggles shuts the door on Blocky Rex on his teammate, and he does actually make more contact there with Blocky Rex. Does Flogger Woggles. So Flogger Woggles, I think, just had a little bit of an incident there with Dougie Falcons, and that moves Alpine into P2 now for the race. That very angry Sidepod now leading with a 1.6 second lead on his teammate Alpine. Dougie Falcons in P3 for McLaren. Then it'll be Blocky Rex in P4. Flogger Woggles P5. Banana Cake was there trying to make a move on Purple. Sorry, on Flogger Woggles. Head down the straight, but now Floggles has turned. Now there's a massive crash at the end of the straight. That was completely Flogger Woggles' fault. He turned across Banana Cake Pie, and that would look like Flogger Woggles has been doing that a little bit. On the opening lap, he wasn't giving many drivers much room at all. So now that's unfortunate for Banana Cake, and Zach Crichton, I think, is in the pit lane. He is, so he has got front wing damage by the looks of it. Lloyd down in P16, 17th, Flogger Woggles, Gasly and Dr. Dre, I think, may have had a little bit of an incident. But now I think Flogger Woggles will have a little bit of explaining to do there, because he definitely did turn across a lot of drivers off the start of the race. And there's a virtual safety car in this race. So that was a massive crash. So I definitely agree with the stewards there to definitely bring out that virtual safety car. No need to bring out another one, full safety car. Just slow the drivers down so the drivers can, so the stewards can pick up all the debris. But most definitely there, I think Flogger Woggles is going to have to take the blame for that, because he definitely did I'm not sure what he's doing here. He's passing drivers. Flogger Woggles is just passing drivers, so I'm not too sure what the Braun driver is doing. Actually, no, it's back to green flag racing. Sorry about that. I didn't even realise virtual safety car was going. Yeah, Flogger Woggles, I think, is going to have to take the blame for that one. He definitely did turn across Banana Cake Pie there. Had a perfect view of it. And yeah, he's going to have a little bit of explaining to do. Does the Braun driver. And as you see, Corte Cruz and John Polainen. So Cowboy Kai are going to go side by side. Down the main straight they go. You think the Ferrari's going to slightly edge on that Red Bull, but it doesn't look like it. The Red Bull holding on the straight line speed. He's going to go down the inside now. Is Corte Cruz on Catboy Kai. He will have the inside line heading through the S-curves, and he gets the move done by the looks of it. And now Catboy Kai is going to have to settle for P10 at this stage as they now head down the Raider Aposta for the 7th time. Zach Ryan's now going to head off Banana Cake Pie because I think Banana Cake is in the pit lane. He is. So now Zach down into P16 for Ferrari. He's going to have a little bit of work he's going to have to do to catch back up. But now Alpine right on the rear of his teammate. Oh, very angry side pod. As now they head into the Bica Tapato. Runs a little bit wide there, does Alpine. About to start the final sector is the drivers. Into this left-hander, runs a little bit wide, does both the drivers side pod. Looks like he's going to have a little bit more of a... he looks like has a comfortable lead at the moment from Alpine heading down the straight. So most likely, when I say comfortable, I mean he won't have any pressure from behind to make a move into turn 1, but side pod does go faster with the 1:11.8, I do believe that says, but then Blocky took that away with the 1:11.789. He is sitting MP4 at the moment. Is that Braun driver, LAS Purple, MP5, leading Plebs in 6th at the moment. I'm going to swap this over to position change, but I think Useless as a Cat is right behind Plebs. So currently the driver up the most spots at the moment is Catboy Kai. He's up 9 spots in this Grand Prix. He's currently sitting MP10. Then the second most is Big Donga, MP8 at the moment. But Alpine's still right on the rear of his teammate at the moment. I'm trying to learn the corner name, so I can just say that this is called Magulo, I think, from what it's telling me. But Alpine and side pod still lead the way, the two Braun cars, but Dougie's not fallen off that train as of yet. Blocky is still right there as well. I think the smart thing for Blocky to do is just carry along with Dougie Falcon, sit in the slipstream and just let him pull him along and catch up to these front two that are trying to pull away at this stage. Now they start lap 9 of 36. Plebs are now starting to feel the pressure from Eustace is a Cat. Big Donker's right there as well in that McLaren. So Eustace is currently in a McLaren sandwich at this stage. Then it will be Corte Cruz in the Red Bull, who still has Cowboy Kai right behind him. In P10, P11 is John Polainen. P12 LAS Chucky, 13th is Flogger Woggles. Then it will be Cracker Jack in 14th. 15th is Zach Crine. He's down 11 spots at the moment, but he has obviously made a pit stop in this Grand Prix so far. Have a look here, as you can see. Drivers that have made a pit stop so far is John Polainen, LAS Chucky, Cracker Jack, Zach Crichton, LAS Afon Luke, Banana Cake Pie, who has now just got ahead of LAS Afon Luke, who I think is actually a ghost car at the moment. Is Luke? It is. I think he may have disconnected from the session, and Dr. Dre down in P19 at the moment for Braun. Go back to the front battle as the drivers now are about to start their 10th lap of the Grand Prix. There'll be 26 laps remaining. No moves look to be made so far, but Useless as a Cat is right behind Plebs. Will he dive down the inside heading to turn 1? It's very easy to make a dive bomb into turn 1, but he's also very easy to hit that grass. As you can see, Useless did there. He just managed to save it. Just dip that tyre onto the grass on entry because you are turning and braking for that corner. You want to be as straight as possible normally when you're braking. So normally you're braking for that corner. You normally brake, but then straight away you're turning as well to get it turned into the corner. Very easily done to hit that grass on the entry of the corner. As Useless as the Cat just showed, this yellow flag in sector 2. I think that was Catboy Kai's unfortunately spun around. It is, so he's spun around heading through turn 5. The Ferrari is now going to drop a few spots here too. His teammate also of Zach Crichton, who pulls off to the left to get around his teammate. Gussie 10 also gets moved on. Banana Cake Pie's a little bit too far behind at the moment. He's going to have a little bit of time to make up if he wants to get past those drivers. But now Side Pod has got 0.2 of a second between himself and Alpum. Alpum's really close this lap. He's a lot closer than what he was last lap. He's pulled out a second now, has Alpum. And Sideshow to the drivers behind him of Dougie and Blocky, but now he's going to go to the outside now is Alpum. He's going to try and hate around the outside, heading into the S-curves they go. Alpum has the outside line, but Side Pod holds on to the position as they now head down the Raider Poster they go. Alpum, 0.2 of a second between himself and his teammate Side Pod. They're going to, will he dive down the inside? He's definitely close enough. He thought about a move there, but Side Pod was deeper under brakes. Nice defensive maneuver. So nice defensive driving there from Side Pod. He holds on to the lead for another lap round. Dougie Falcon still holding up to P3 at the moment. Blocky Rex starting to fall off that train a bit. He's got LAS Purple right behind him as well. Plivs has also still got Useless as a cat right behind him. Big Donga MP8. P9 was Corte Cruz and Renier. Top 10 still is John Polainen. Corte Cruz now has just got himself a 3-second time penalty for Red Bull for corner cutting multiple times. Little tight battle here still going between Plebs and Useless is a cat. 0.4 of a second between those two. We're going to go back to the battle of the lead, but I think that's one that spun around. That's LAS Purple that has spun around now. The Red Bull driver, the leading Red Bull drivers, unfortunately spun around in this Grand Prix. So now that's not really good for Red Bull. They were looking like they were going to be on for a strong result here. But unfortunately, Purple's going to drop a lot of position. He's not going to drop it to Chucky, his teammate, but he's going to have to settle for P10 at this stage. Useless still 0.3 of a second between himself and Plebs, but now Alpum's trying to make a move on side, but he's going to go to the outside line. We're in helicopter view at the moment, best view at this stage, and he's going to try and do the crisscross maneuver is Alpum, but unfortunately wasn't able to get the maneuver done. Side Pod had a very nice exit off turn 4 rather, and manages to hold on for another couple of corners. Going to go back here because Useless as the cat is still right behind Plebs as well. This is the battle of P5. Blocky's now trying to catch up to the back of Dougie still. But now Dougie's also caught up to the rear of Alpum. So Alpum's got to try and make a move now. If he wants any chance at winning this race, he's got to try and put Side Pod in between him and Dougie, because we know Dougie is a very quick driver. Blocky Rex in P4 still at this stage. So head down the main straight. Alpum wasn't able to put the pressure on Side Pod this lap round as they head into the S-curves. Turn 1, 2 and 3 they go. Side Pod's going to hold on for another lap by the looks of it. Gasly now and Zach Crine are right side by side by the looks of it. That's actually Cracker Jack now making a move. So Zach Crine making a move on Cracker Jack, I should say. He's going to be deeper under brakes most likely. Here is Zach Crine. He goes to the inside line. Cracker Jack tries to defend the inside line. He does. He holds onto it, but now he pushes Zach Crine now wide. But this is going to give Gasly a nice run on Zach Crine and Cracker Jack. He gets a move done on Cracker Jack. But now Zach tries to force him into the wall there, but manages to hold on to the position. They're going to be 3 wide down the back straight. Will they be able to hold on? There's no contact made, but that's a Ferrari that looks like they nearly spun around. That was Zach Crine there that came off worse out of that. He did have the outside line there to Cracker Jack. I personally wouldn't have made it 3 wide myself, but Gasly definitely came off best there. He moves himself up 2 spots in the space of 3 corners. He moves himself into P13 now, does the Ferrari driver. Yellow flag through sector 1. LAS Purple. No, actually Zach Ryan just got ahead of Cracker Jack there. But we're going to go back on board with Purple because he's right behind John Polainen now in that Red Bull and McLaren. Will he be able to make a move? He's in that slipstream. No DRS available to him, so this will make it that little bit harder for him to make that maneuver. He's actually spun around now as John Polainen, so he just locked the rear brakes massively there, heading into turn 1 of the S-curves. Unfortunately, John Polainen spun around, heading to sector 1, turn 1. And that's just spun him around and lost him a bunch of time there. He's dropped the spot to LAS Chucky and Flogger Woggles. That's unfortunate there for John Polainen. Looked like he just lost the rear brakes there. Well, not lost the rear brakes, he just locked the rear brakes. And unfortunately spun him around, but now Big Donga's caught up to the rear of this little battle pack between Plebs and Useless as a cat, because the Ferrari is sitting behind Plebs. They're a little bit too long now, and I think Donga will try and make a move very soon. Sideshow now trying to edge that gap out between himself and Alpine. There's 0.8 of a second now No DRS available to these drivers, as there was no such thing in the 2010 era of Formula 1, as he will now start lap 15 of the Grand Prix. Will side pod. 21 laps remain. Dougie Falcons in P2 is yellow flag in Sector 2. Sorry, Dougie Falcons in P3, I should say. Local yellow. I'm trying to look at the minimap to see what's happening. That looks like that was Cracker Jack that's unfortunately spun around. So now Banana Cake Pie's got ahead. Now Cracker Jack's off into the grass, doing a little bit of lawn mowing for the caretakers of the racetrack. Still that yellow flag in Sector 3. I think that is Cracker Jack. Still struggling to keep it on track, but it looks like Side Pod is a lot stronger through the final sector, and he manages to pull out a decent gap to Alpine. But then through the midway through second sector and the end of the first sector, it looks like Alpine just gains all that time back up. I think John Poline has actually had another bit of an incident here. He's lost more spots to Gasly 10 and Flogger Woggles. So Gasly's right on the rear now of that broad car, but he's actually whacked him here. Has Gasly 10, he was way too deep under brakes, and now that's turned. Hasn't turned him, I should say, but it's pushed Flogger Woggles wide, but Gasly has no. Well, he's got massive front wing damage. You can see he doesn't have a right end plate. And this is unfortunate for him. Now Cracker Jack has unfortunately retired from the session. Will we see a safety car in this Grand Prix? But now Dougie Falcons has got ahead of Alpine. And so is Blocky Rex, because Alpine is now into the pit lane. Will we see a safety car? Doesn't look like it, but now as you can see, Alpine's been held in the pits. He's been held in the pits by his McLaren teammate. So this is going to be a very slow stop. This is going to be costing him massive amounts of time. As you can see, his team still yet to make or even put the tyres on. That was a very long pit stop there for Alpine. He's going to be dropping massive amounts of time here. That's unfortunate there for the Brawn driver. He definitely would not have known. Well, I'm not sure if he did know that his teammate was in the pits, but this is going to be very good news for SidePod, because now there's 20 laps remaining in the session. Sorry about that. And he will have a pretty hefty lead between himself and his rival of Alpine. Dougie Falcons will be in P2 at the moment. As you can see, he's got 2.3 seconds between himself and SidePod in the lead. Blocky Rex still sits in P3. Leading Plevs, Useless is a Cat, Corte Coos in P6, and it will be Donga in P7, LAS Purple, who has his teammate right behind him of Chucky. Then it'll be Gasly 10 rounds out your top 10. Zach Ryan starting to catch up to his teammate in P10 as well. SidePod goes around for another lap, and he does go fast with the 1:11.155. So he is edging that gap ahead or longer away from Dougie. Plebs now got himself ahead of Blocky Rex, as Blocky is now into the pit lane. His team is ready. Very quick pit stop there from Blocky Rex. That front right tyre was real quickly on from that Brawn team. See Purple now right behind Big Donga. This is Red Bull versus McLaren as they head down the Rita Aposto. He's going to try and get the move done here. Is Chucky. Donga defends the inside line. He does do a little bit of lawn mowing on the apex curb. Alpine now has got himself a 3-second time penalty down in P13. He's not going to be able to make a move this time around. Is Purple. So Useless as a Cat is still right behind Pleb, so without that DRS available to him, it's just affecting him massively. But now we have our race leader into the pit lane. Very angry side, but we'll have to see where he comes out compared to Alpine, because Dougie actually continues, I should say. Plebs, will he continue? He does. Useless does. Corte, will we see the Red Bull driver in the pit lane? No, he stays out for another lap. Donga does stay out for another lap as well. We're going to swap this over. Stop. Actually, it's already on stop. So currently the drivers we're waiting on to make a stop is Flogger Woggles, LAS Purple, Big Donga, Side Pod, Purple, Donga. I've already said Donga, Corte, Useless as a Cat, Plebs, and Dougie Falcons. So you see this is Side Pod coming out of the pit lane now, but look, this is Alpine. Hasn't even crossed the line to start his 18th lap. That's how much time he has lost to Side Pod. This is Side Pod heading down the back into turn 4. And where's Alpine? He hasn't even got through turn 3 yet. So that is a massive time loss from Alpine. That pit stop there from his team just completely screwed him. If you guys are new around here, as you can see on your screens, here are the Race Spec social medias. Our Twitter is at Race Spec Esports, Instagram Race.Spec, and Facebook Race Spec F1 Esports. Be sure to go give them a like and a follow. to keep up to date with all the results as well. Flogger Woggles looks like he's making a move now on Jumpalainen as well. The Braun driver's now got ahead of the McLaren. He's going to try and make a move again here. Is Jumpalainen. He's going to go around the outside. Tried to get the move done, but he's actually lost the spot while doing so to Alpoom. So that's unfortunate there for Jumpalainen. He tried to do it around the outside move, but it's never going to pull off. End off the way he wanted it to go, but Alpoom's now trying to make a move. Heading into turn 1 he goes. Does he get the move done around the outside on his teammate? He's been forced out wide there. Has Alpoom, but now that's actually someone. Which driver was that went off wide? But they make contact now. It's Alpoom and Jumpalainen. Alpoom off into the wall. He did cut that corner and came back onto the track very aggressively there. Did Alpoom, so he did make contact with his teammate of Flogger Woggles as Jumpalainen has now finally got ahead of that Braun car of Flogger Woggles. So I think Alpoom will have a little bit of work. I don't think there'll be any penalty applied to him there because he has lost a few positions while doing so. Yeah, very strange. He did re-enter the track very unsafely there, did Alpoom. So yellow flag in Sector 2. That looks like Blocky Rex has just been passed now by Zach Crun in that Ferrari. So he's looking very quick now. Is the Ferrari driver of Zach Crun trying to catch up now to LAS Chucky is his next target. As Chucky actually comes into the pit lane. So now he's going to try and catch up to Purple. No, he's in the pit lane as well. So now he'll have side pod he's going to try and catch up to. There's a yellow flag in Sector 2. That looks like might be a local yellow. I'm not too sure what's happening there with those yellow flags. But Dougie at the moment still yet to make a pit stop, same as Plebs and Useless is a cat, as there is now 16 laps remaining in the Brazilian Grand Prix. Dougie, Plebs and Useless are still yet to make a pit stop, but Useless is still battling it with Plebs at the moment. He'll be getting very frustrated at the moment, will the Ferrari driver. Side pod in the net lead at the moment. He's got Catboy Kai, a lapped car in front of him, who's trying to get out of the way. Zach Crine still sitting in P5. He's got Blocky Rex right behind him still, but he did obviously just make that move on the Braun driver. Jumpalainen in P7 starting to edge away now from Flogger Woggles, who just made contact with his teammate of Alpoom. Corte Cruz in P9 and Renier top 10 at the moment. Nice recovery drive so far. After that beginning of the race incident is Banana Cake Pie. He's sitting in P10 at the moment. He will take home 1 point at this stage, but there is a yellow flag through Sector 3. I think the yellow flags are just randomly coming out at the stage. I'm not too sure why, but now it looks like Plebs and Useless is a cat are in the pits. So will we see Plebs? Do they manage to undercut him? No, the Ferrari team are going to have to slot back in behind Plebs, so he'll not be happy with that whatsoever. Well, Useless, he's been behind Plebs this entire race, and his team weren't able to get him out in front of that McLaren driver, but now Dougie is still yet to make a pit stop, same as Flogger Woggles down in P8, so 15.2 seconds at the moment between Dougie and Very Angry Side Pod, as you can see. Dougie's about to cross into the third sector. So I think Side Pod will get ahead of Dougie. But definitely the biggest loser off the pit stops had to be of Alpoom. He's currently sitting in P12 at the moment, having to stack with his teammate. That just cost him so much time. But do we see Dougie in the business lap? No, he's still staying out for a bit longer. He's still improving on his time by the looks of it. He was 8/100ths of a second faster on his time there. So he'll need to be coming into the pits pretty soon, because he'll just be wasting tyres at this stage. If he doesn't pit in soon, then he's not going to get the maximum out of that fresh set of dry tyres. Flogger Woggles is still yet to make a pit stop. He's sitting in P11 at the moment. He's really struggling at this stage. So will we see the Braun driver in this lap, as they now start lap 22 of the Grand Prix? He stays out again, does the Braun driver. Going to go back to this battle here between Plebs and Useless as a cat. He's still in that slipstream of the McLaren, but the McLaren just holding it where he needs to. He's just holding that straight line speed where he needs to be. These guys are pretty much equal on time, pretty much. They're neck to neck when it comes to time. Any error from Plebs, Useless is going to take advantage of, without a doubt. But Banana Cake's now caught up to the rear of the Red Bull of Corte Cruz as they now head through the second sector. Banana Cake's also got LAS Purple behind him, so he is in a Red Bull sandwich at this stage. Got 6/10 of a second at the moment. Has Banana Cake Pie 2 Corte Coos. He'll be getting a very slight slipstream as Blocky Rex goes faster with a 1 minute 10.8. So he's looking very quick at the moment. Now Blocky's actually just got ahead of Zach Crichton. So Zach may have made a little mistake there. He was in the slipstream, was Blocky. So I'm not too sure if Zach made a little mistake or Blocky did make the maneuver. Plebs and Useless as the card is still sitting in P5 and 6. Banana Cake still trying to get that move done on Corte. He's got to set up a run through the final. Well, heading into the third sector. He's got to set up that corner and just get that move done. We'll get a very nice exit to get the move done heading into turn 1 through the S-curves. But as you can see, Flogger Woggles has now been passed by Alpoom. There's a yellow flag in sector 1. I believe that was Catboy Kai that's unfortunately retired from the session. So Catboy Kai just kind of rage quit there by the looks of it, unfortunately. So Dougie Falcons looks like he's just made a mistake as well at the exit of the S-curves. Oh no, because there's a safety car in this Grand Prix. I didn't even realise that, so that's why Dougie slowed down massively. It's Dougie Falcons. Now that gap is just this is going to be a free pit stop here for Dougie. Well, it would have been ideal if he did pit that previous lap, but so now Dougie will lead the way. Drive through penalty for Laleas Chucky for speeding under safety car. So that's unfortunate for him. He's sitting down in P15, so he's going to have to do a drive through penalty for this Grand Prix. Will we see Dougie Falcons in this lap? So I wouldn't be surprised if we do. Would make sense for him to come in, as you can see he is. So Sidepod will most likely get ahead of him, but he is still sitting under Delta at the moment as Sidepod. So this should, in theory, help Dougie Falcons. You can see Sidepod has now got ahead of Dougie Falcons as the Delta has now been taken off. Will Blocky Rex get ahead? So now Dougie's actually going to come out in P2. So this has been a very well-timed safety car for Dougie Falcons. He will come out in P2 ahead of Blocky Rex. Whereabouts is the safety car? There is the safety car. So Sidepod for the second time now will be lining up behind that Mercedes AMG safety car. There's actually 11 laps remaining in this session, may I point out as well. So 3-second time penalty now for Corte for actually corner cutting multiple times. So I'm not too sure how that works on the safety car. He may have been cutting it a little bit. We must have driven straight across the track potentially. And that's unfortunate for him. He's got himself another 3-second time penalty. But while we are on the safety car, I kind of want to have a look at time penalties to see what the go is with that. We're going to go to Sidepod, see if he has any time penalties. Doesn't even have a warning so far, so Sidepod's looking at a very good spot at the moment. Nor does Dougie Falcons. He's looking very good. Blocky Rex, does he have any warnings? He does. He has a couple at the moment. He has 2 penalties, so he's currently sitting at 6 seconds worth of penalties at this stage. Does Blocky Rex. Does Plebs any penalties? He does have 1 penalty, so he's at 3 seconds. Useless. Does not have a penalty, but he's on his last warning. Corte has 2 penalties. 3 penalties. Elias Purple, I'll just go through your top 10. Who has penalties? Has 1 penalty. Zach Crichton. No, he doesn't have a penalty at this stage, but actually he does have 1 penalty. Does the Ferrari driver. The other Ferrari driver of Banana Cake Pie does have 1 penalty. John Polainen has 10 seconds worth of penalties at the moment. I do believe they're for collisions with drivers. So, John Polainen. Actually, no, not John. I don't know if that's actually collision with drivers. I thought that was Flogger Woggles, but anyway. Flogger Woggles just got himself another 3-second time penalty, so I want to quickly have a look to see what's happening with him. I feel like he's cutting the track a little bit just to try and get to the safety car, but anyway. It's going to be a tight battle. Considering there's now 10 laps remaining in this race, this is definitely not going to be helpful for Sidepod. He definitely did not want the safety car whatsoever, because now Dougie's going to be on fresh tyres. And he's going to be right behind him as well. So this is going to be a sprint race to the end of the Grand Prix. Let me know in the live chat your predictions for the top 3. Will we see the safety car in this lap? Normally when there's only a couple laps remaining, around that 10 to 7 lap remaining mark, the safety car doesn't like to stay out for too long just to keep the racing going. I'm happy that there's a safety car out because now that it bunches everyone back up. Will we see it in this lap or will we be going around for another lap? It's actually in this lap now, so the safety car is in this lap. So will we see Sidepod go a little bit earlier than what he did last time, or will we see him stay out or just hold the drivers for a little bit longer? This will be interesting to see what the Braun driver does. Dougie Falcons and Blocky Rex right behind each other. They're waiting for Sidepod to touch that accelerator. As soon as he touches that accelerator, you see Dougie's waiting. He's allowed to overlap, but he's not allowed to overtake. Sidepod goes now. He does it very early again. So if I was here, I would normally wait all the way. I'd be going slow all the way up here. I'd just be waiting right to the line, so he's got absolutely no chance of getting overtaken into turn 1. Now Blocky Rex is now got himself back into P3. He's held on. He's got a pretty nice start here as Blocky. But now Corte has now lost a few spots. He's run really wide on the exit of turn 1 through the S-curves. And now he's going to be dropping a few positions. He's got to make sure he doesn't rejoin the track dangerously. And he's now dropped all the way back down to P9. He will drop behind Jump Line, and Banana Cake Pie has got himself up into P8. I think Flogger Woggle's down in P15 and spun around. It looks like he has through the S-curves. That's unfortunate for him. But Sidepod leads away on the exit of the safety car restart. Dougie Falcons is slotted back into P2. P3 will be Blocky Rex leading players. Useless, Zach Ryan, Purple, Banana Cake Pie, Jump Line and Corte, Big Donga, Ghastly, Dr. Dre, Alpum and Flogger Woggles down in P15. P16 will be LASF1 Loic. Ghastly 10 now made a move on Big Donga by the looks of it, and he's making a double maneuver by the looks of it. Jump Line. So Corte Coos is now right in front of Ghastly 10. This is the battle for P10, and they've actually made contact there, has Ghastly. So Ghastly and Corte just made contact with each other there. As they now start lap 28 of the Grand Prix. Sidepod goes faster with a 1 minute 10.784. So he is pulling away. So that was Corte now getting past around the outside by the looks of it from Ghastly 10. He's trying to hold it there. They're getting squeezed here at the moment. Is Ghastly 10 and Corte. They're going to go down the inside. Well, he will as the inside line. Will Corte. Ghastly trying to hang it around the outside. He's deeper on the brakes. So he's a Ferrari driver. They do make contact. Does he spin around? No, he manages to keep it on track though. Does Corte. He looked like he was definitely going to make contact there. He didn't slow it down as much as what Alpern did, so then what Ghastly did in the second part of the corner. Now he's got just under a second at the moment, has Sidepod, so he is pulling away from Dougie Falcons. Could this be finally the win that Sidepod has wanted for so long? He's been very quick pretty much all season or since he joined, but unfortunately he's just had a bit of bad luck, as now there's a yellow flag in sector 3. There's a massive pile up in the back here by the looks of it. Not too sure that's between Big Donga and Dr. Dre. Is unfortunately spun around at the final, through the final, or heading into the final sector. So now I think Donga's got massive damage. I think Donga's unfortunately had to retire the car, so that's going to make it 5 retirements for the session. Luke's obviously down a lap, so he'll be behind Donga for another whole lap. Sidepod now still leads away. He's got to get out to a second now, finally. Still that yellow flag in sector 3 for Donga's car. Blocky Rex still holding on to P3. Pretty solid job so far from him. P4 will be Plebs. He's still battling it out with Useless as a cat. Still, Zach Ryan now right behind Useless as a cat as well. Will he be able to make that move? Very angry Sidepod still going fast at the moment with a 1 minute 10.518. Alpum still, now Alpum goes fast with a 1 minute 10.509. So he said 518, so he was 1/100th of a second, I should say, sorry. Faster than Sidepod's lap time there, but now they start lap 30 of 36 in this Grand Prix. Side pod still pulling away at the moment from Dougie, but Blocky is still keeping with Dougie, actually. He's got 0.5 of a second between himself and that McLaren. Plebs still leading Useless as a Cat. Zach Crichton right behind his teammate of Useless as a Cat at the moment. This is the battle for P4 between Plebs, Useless, and Zach Crichton. And now Plebs is actually put in the wall. I just quickly looked up from my live chat, and we just seen Plebs put it in the wall. He spun around on the exit of that right-hander. He got on the curb, it looked like, and unfortunately the McLaren drivers lost a lot of spots here in this Grand Prix. Now this is unfortunate here for Plebs. He's dropped massive amount of position. He's just got a 10-second time penalty for exceeding track limits. I don't know how that works, but anyway, he's got no front wing. Well, he's got no right end plate now, has Plebs, so that's unfortunate for the McLaren driver. So now he's going to have to come into the pits, but now Zach Crichton and Useless as a Cat. This is the battle for P4 in this Grand Prix. Now Will Useless as a Cat, he is defending the inside line on Zach Crichton. He's going to go to the outside line now. Is his teammate, he's going to sweep around the outside by the looks of it. It's Zach Crichton, but now Useless has made contact with Purple, and it's a massive crash here between Useless as a Cat at Purple. It looked like Purple tried to stick his nose down there, and unfortunately he made contact with Banana Cake Pie, and I think Banana Cake has front wing damage. He does, unfortunately, so it's right end plate, and there's a virtual safety car in this Grand Prix. So that's unfortunate there for Useless as a Cat. He's going to go all the way back down to where Plebs is. He's spun around and he's still stuck in the wall, and now he's been disqualified from the session. I wouldn't be surprised. He's probably raged. But that looked like I'm not too sure, not 100% confident if that was Purple, but it looked like that was a Red Bull that stuck his nose down there very late in the corner and unfortunately spun around the McLaren driver, so the Ferrari driver of Useless as a Cat. So now that makes us extra time in the session, so Purple may have a little bit of explaining to do. Alpoom, John Polainen are all going side by side now. We're going to run a ball with Gassy because he has the best view of this. Now Banana Cake's going to make it 3-1. Alpoom down on the outside. He's actually down the middle now. But now this is Gassy trying to make it 3-1 again. And Banana Cake Pie just got forced massively off track. Then he got hit again by Corte on the exit there. So now that was a really nice move there from Alpoom. He went straight down the middle of around 4 drivers there. So that was a very nice move there. I definitely will give that overtake of the race, to be honest. Very solid and very smart move there from Alpoom, but we're going to have a look now to see who's moved up the most positions in this race. It's currently John Polainen, currently sitting in P7, as the drivers are now on lap 32 of 36 in this Grand Prix. And now he gets side down the inside now. Goes Gasly 10 on John Polainen. He gets a move done. So the Ferrari now gets ahead of John Polainen. Nice move there. Wasn't expecting it, I don't think. I definitely wasn't expecting a move from Gasly, and I don't think John Polainen was either, because he did have to correct the steering as he saw that Ferrari take up those mirrors. But now Side Pod's got 0.5 of a second between himself and Dougie's. They now start lap 33 of 36. 3 laps remain in this Grand Prix block. He's now fallen off that pack a little bit. Zach Crichton, MP4 leading Purple, Alpoom, Gasly. John Polainen's a yellow flag in Sector 2. I'll go try and get back to that, but now Gasly's right. Gonna feel a little bit of pressure from John Polainen. He's gonna go down the inside now as John Polainen. Gasly ran a little bit wide, but he kept the momentum up and held on to the position. John Polainen in P9 now. Corte Cruz in P10, and Renier top 10 will be Banana Cake Pie. Unfortunately, in the end there, making that contact with the drivers. I think he had nowhere to go, to be honest. He just got caught up in that little incident there. But now Dr. Dre in P12, leading Plebs in P13, and LASF1 Loic in P14. And now this looks like it's going to be shaping up for a very tight battle. In the end of this Grand Prix, Dougie Falcon's made a little mistake there, heading through that left-hander. Side pod. Yeah, it looks like, if I have to be honest here, Dougie looks like he's faster through the slower sections of the track, but where Side Pod needs to be faster to hold on to his position, he looks like he is, so I think that's Side Pod using that to his advantage at the moment. Alpoom now 0.4 of a second between himself and Alpoom. Still that yellow flag in Sector 2, not sure what that's for. But now Alpoom's going to look like he's going to try and make a move on Purple as they head side by side down the front straight. They head onto lap 34, go the drivers, and he gets the move done very early in the, before the braking zone even. Solid move there from Alpoom. Moves himself into the top 5. Purple now just got himself a 3-second time penalty, as we just witnessed. John Polainen in P7 at the moment, running a pretty lonely. Actually, no, he's not. He's got Gasly right behind him in that Ferrari. So it's McLaren versus Ferrari again. pretty much an exact replica of Plebs, and useless as a captain now. Gasly trying to stick his nose down there on John Polainen, as he did run a little bit wide. He seems to be struggling at this stage. Is John Polainen will he be able to make the move? Gasly 10. This is definitely his better spot. He makes a very nice moves heading into this right-hander. He's going to have to sit behind him for a little bit longer, though. Wasn't close enough through that long right-hander. Unfortunately, with the aero wash with these cars, he ran a little bit wide. But really dived down the inside through this right-hander. He does on the inside, but he's made contact. And unfortunately, he's lost his left end plate now. Has Gasly. So he's going to drop a spot to John Polainen here, but not only that, he's also going to lose the spot to Corte by the looks of it. Corte much deeper on the brakes, but he's also made contact with Gasly. So there's a lot of contact being made at this later end of the Grand Prix. Now side pod starts his final lap of the Grand Prix. Gasly is in the slipstream. Will he make a pit stop this lap? No, he's going to stay out. Again, it is Gasly. As they now start the penultimate lap. Alpine goes fastest in the Grand Prix. Gasly trying to defend from Corte. Does Corte have any damage? It doesn't look like it, but I want to go back to this battle for the lead, as it looks like Sidepod's got 7/10 of a second between himself and Dougie Falcons. This is definitely the battle to watch, because Gasly's right behind John Polainen at the moment. He does have front wing damage, unfortunately. Does Gasly, so I don't think he'll try and make a move. I think he will want to just settle for this position. But it actually looks like John Polainen is struggling massively on these tyres at the moment. They are on the penultimate lap of the Grand Prix. John Polainen struggling at the moment with tyre wear, but Gasly does have front wing damage, so he's going to be affected through the fast corners. John Polainen looks like he's not carrying anywhere as much speed through the corners as what Gasly is. But Gasly looks like he's not getting as much or as good as a run off the corners as what John Polainen does. But John Polainen had a pretty poor exit there, because he did get a little bit of a tap from Gasly 10. But we're going to have a look at Sidepod now as he starts the final lap of the Brazilian Grand Prix. Lap 36 of 36. He will start. Dougie Falcons in P2 at the moment. 1.0 seconds at this stage. He's just got to keep it on track at the moment. Has Sidepod block. He will come home P3. Will be in P3 at the moment. He's got no pressure from Zach Crime behind. Alpum in P5. Purple Pill still P6. John Polainen 7th. 8th will be Gasly 10. This is definitely going to be a tight battle as it comes towards the end of the Grand Prix. He's giving another tap. Has Gasly, but he's going to have a nice run down the straight. He will have slipstream on the McLaren driver. He's going to try and slip into a slipstream here. John Polainen does look like he has the better straight line speed in that McLaren car, but the Ferrari looks like he's a lot stronger through the corners. But it's definitely not going to help Gasly, considering he does have front wing damage, as they now head midway through the final lap. Sorry about that. Will John Polainen be able to hold on? Gasly 10. Doesn't look like he's going to try and head around the outside now with Gasly. He's trying to do the switchback maneuver. Is he going to get this move done? This will be a massively great maneuver if he can hold this. Gasly 10 around the outside and into the final quarter they go. Do they get it? Well, going to be a drag race up to the line. It looks like he's got around the outside as Gasly 10. What a move on John Polainen at the end, but John Polainen's going to have the slipstream. He's trying to force him out wide. It's John Polainen, but he's going to be side by side up to the line. Who gets a move done? And it looks like John Polainen's going to win up to the line, but unfortunately with time penalties, Gasly 10's going to win the Grand Prix. Very angry Sidepod will come home for his first win in this Grand Prix, and it will be the last race of the season. Congratulations to Sidepod. We're taking out the final race of the 2010 Classic Series. Dougie Falcons will come home P2 in the end, leading Dougie Falcons in P3. B4 will be Zach Crichton leading Alpine, Purple, Gasly, John Polainen, Corte, Flogger Woggles, Banana Cake Pie, Dr. Dre will come home P12, Plebs will come home P13, and P14 in the end will be LASF1 Loic. We're going to try and get a few interviews going now. With your drivers, but that has been your PS4 2010 Classic Series for your Spec Esports Brazilian Grand Prix. Congratulations to our top 3 podium getters. And as you can see, the provisional results here for the Spec Esports PS4 2010 Classic Series, the final round, round 12 at the Brazilian Grand Prix. Very angry Sidepod takes home the win ahead of Dougie Falcons. Sidepod's first win for this season. Blocky Rex will come home P3. Zach Crone 4th. P5 will be Alpoom. 6 is LAS Purple. P7 Gasly 10. Who will come home P7. PA will be Jump Line, and P9 will be Corte Cruz. Rounding out your top 10 for the Brazilian Grand Prix will be Flogger Waggles. Banana K Pie will come home P11. Dr. Dre P12. 13th Plez. 14th will be LSF1 Malik. P15 Big Donga P619. P16 will be Chucky. Actually, no, these are the retirements. So Donga, Chucky, Catboy, Crackerjack, LASF1 Skid, and Useless as a Cat are all the retirements for the Grand Prix. But now I'm going to try and invite a few drivers to a party so I can interview them potentially if they are all keen to join. Give me a minute, guys. I won't be too long. Just trying to invite some drivers so we can do some post-race interviews with the drivers. Trying to think if I needed to invite now. We'll just hopefully wait for the drivers now to join the session. Sorry, join the party for some post-race interviews. We have a few drivers now here in the commentary box for some post-race interviews. Congratulations to you, first offside pod, for taking your first win of the season as well. But that definitely,
Result today,
but anyway,
I know. And you know, you could have had the same race I had today in Singapore. You never know. Second place wouldn't have been guaranteed. You might have won even.
That re-entry to track on Japan kind of helped a little bit too, not gonna lie.
Oh yeah, not gonna lie, that was quite an interesting.
But anyway, we'll start off with you, Plebs, because that battle with...
He gets in for invites and then he's just AFK.
That battle... Can they even hear me? I'm not even sure. Anyway, with you and Useless, that battle, whole race pretty much between you and Useless as a Cat, unfortunately, looked like you were just a little bit quicker through the sections that you needed to be than what he was.
Yeah. And then...
But definitely looked like it was tight. I don't know if they can hear me. Hello?
Oh, Dougie.
Jesus, they can't hear me, man. Give me 1 second, guys, sorry.
Man, I swear.
Hello, sorry. Hello?
Hello.
I was talking to myself the whole time. That's great. Side pod.
Silly boy.
Congratulations on your first win as well for
Second win, mate.
Second win. Second?
win.
Second?
2 weeks in a row. Yeah,
The one
mate.
last week.
Oh yeah, because I wasn't here last week. I forgot about that. Anyway, that battle with Alpoom at the beginning of the race as well. Unfortunately, that
was good.
That was good, it was. But unfortunately, in the end, he had to double stack with a Mclaren. I'm not too sure who it was, but he got held in the pits, and that just cost him at the end.
Is that when he came in early on the pit stop?
Yeah, he did. He came into the pit stop, but then he got held up by one of the drivers that were in his pit bay. So that cost him a lot of time. He was like probably half a lap behind you after that. But yeah, so that was a really good battle. And then in the end, Dougie Falcons looked like you just had a little bit more of an edge on him. So how were you feeling with the tyres as well? It looked like they were going off a little bit towards the end.
Oh no, they were alright. They were only at about like 35% towards the end because that second safety car really just helped me conserve it. But Dougie was putting pressure on. He had the fresh tyres after the pit after that safety car, so it was a little bit hairy. But he just didn't have the pace to he had the pace to stay with me, but just not to get past because that Braun's just so much faster.
Double diffuser.
Yeah,
And then-
it's so good.
And then also Useless and Plebs, your battle as well, going on pretty much the whole race. It looked like Useless was quicker through the second sector or the second part of the track, and it just looked like Plebs was a little bit quicker down the straight to where he needed to be. That Mclaren, obviously, you're in the Ferrari, aren't you, Useless? I keep forgetting it's Ferrari, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. So that battle in the end between you two, and unfortunately, I believe you just hit the curb in the end there, Plebs, just on the exit of that right-hander and just spun around?
Yeah, I just spun. Just binned it, you know. There's no real excuse for it. It wasn't on a curb or anything. It was just too much throttle and spun off into the barrier. So I was like, yep, alright.
Fair enough.
It was a bad mistake, but yeah.
Waiting on Gasly 10 to join as well.
So he was on. You already won the championship, so he's basically on autopilot.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, I was taking it pretty easy. It was a pretty fun race. I enjoyed the battle with Useless, but yeah.
We're waiting for Gasly 10 to join as well because he made a pretty nice move on the last lap as well, around the outside of, I do believe it was jump line. That was side by side through the entire final sector pretty much, and then there was a run up to the line and he got the move done. But thank you guys so much for joining the commentary box for some post-race interviews. I appreciate it, but that has been your Race Spec F1 Esports PS4 2010 Classic Series. My name is Expert, and I will see you guys next time.
Did he just